Welcome back, my friends, to another Brotato Danger 5 random run. Hope you're all doing well. If you're not familiar with this, we are going to take a random class and random weapon and try to beat Danger 5 with it. I have to use the weapon, although I won't have to stick with 6 of that weapon for the entire run. We can make adjustments to make the best build possible, but we have to use that weapon as a major component of the build. I'm going to quickly spoil the results of the previous ones, so I think we're on number 7 in this series. If you haven't watched those, then definitely check them out before I spoil it. Alright, so we are at 4 wins in a row, so we're on a 4-win streak, which is great, having won 5 out of 6 of the previous 6, meaning that we're at an 83% win rate, so much closer to where I would like to be at. I think, for this series, my ambition is to hit a 90% win rate, but we'll have to see if we can manage that. I also want to quickly say shout out to Dantham for the $5 donation on my last video. I really appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. Alright, let's get into it. We are going to random. I'm going to skip the doctor because the doctor doesn't, I think, really interact with the premise of this series. I've talked about that a little bit. I'm going to reserve the right to cancel on characters that don't do anything interesting, and I already randomed in my class guide for the doctor, so let's try again. And we got the Loud. Alright, this should be a really fun one. So we get extra damage and extra enemies. There are some weapons that will be quite difficult to clear with on the Loud. Like, for example, Rock, I think, could be quite hard. Pruner would be very difficult. Taser might be pretty difficult because of the slow clear speed on those weapons, making it hard to actually kill all of the enemies. Also, I think engineering builds on the Loud will be pretty tough, but we can see if we get those. So let's see what we've got. Jousting Lance. Alright, this is a really fun one. I don't think I've done a build with Jousting Lance yet, so that's kind of awesome. Jousting Lance is nice because it has very high base damage and very high range, and a pretty good attack pattern, but you need to be constantly moving, which, as we saw in my speedy guide, is kind of a significant downside sometimes, or not guide, but the random run we did with speedy. We really suffered there. But I think Jousting Lance should work pretty well for Loud. Just got to make sure I'm constantly moving. Want to line up these enemies so we're hitting as many as possible, and mess that one up. What you want to do is move sort of across a group of enemies while the thrust from the lance is out on the field, so that it passes through several of them and hits them all at once. We don't need melee damage as much on this character as we would for a normal character, because we are using a Jousting Lance, so we scale only 50% with melee damage. I think I'm going to start with some luck, because Loud really wants to get some luck going. And then I'm going to reroll this, looking for more Jousting Lances. Ugly Tooth does have some uses, of course, on this character, but I think we are going to keep rolling. Still no lances, which is unfortunate. Let me grab this one, though, and that should make it more likely that we find them in future. I'm going to roll again here, and nothing here that I want, although I will lock the Lost Duck. We won't, I think, be able to buy a third lance, since I missed so many times on my rerolls. Oh no, okay, they only cost 20. That's good. We won't be able to reroll again, but we at least managed to get 3 weapons, which helps a lot. I like to heavily prioritize luck on the Loud because there's so many enemies on the field, so you can really generate a lot of crates and consumables. And for that reason, we will be prioritizing consumable healing, although I always prioritize consumable healing, so that will be nothing new. Lances scale primarily with attack speed because of their very high base damage, so that's what we're going to be trying to do here. It's usually not worth it to buy Harvesting on the Loud because you lose your Harvesting, so you need quite a lot of it before it becomes valuable. I'm going to reroll this. I'm looking for move speed or max HP. Any damaging stat would be pretty good. Here I'm gonna take the attack speed because attack speed is so valuable for this character. And then here I think I'm just gonna take max HP. We want to get that going as soon as we can, especially because it scales very well with the armor and dodge that we're getting from the medieval weapon tag here. Let's grab a Jousting Lance. We won't be able to buy a second one, but I'd like to lock one, so I'll reroll, try to lock one in. Really getting very unlucky on finding these lances. I'm going to lock this elephant. We don't have a lot of luck right now, but we get bonus damage, and this is one way that the loud can really start taking off. Yikes. Alright, well, I spent $1 million on looking for lances and didn't find any, so that is very unlucky, but hopefully we can get our weapon set online sooner rather than later. With Jousting Lance, we pretty much want to just stick with all Jousting Lances, because the way that we're going to build our character will be reliant on the damage scaling that they have. Priorities for doing damage with this weapon are attack speed primarily, and then move speed, just because move speed is really good. Here I'll just take a level 2 armor, because it's level 2. Okay, we finally got another Jousting Lance. Peaceful Bee is also very good for this character, even though the harvesting doesn't matter as much. We want to build dodge, and the melee damage loss matters less, since we're only scaling 50% melee damage. So I will take the Peaceful Bee, and then I'm going to take this Lost Duck, throw in one reroll to see if we can get another lance. We cannot, but let's go on to the next wave. Lance also sets up a lot of its own damage scaling. So even though, I should clarify, even though the harvesting component of Peaceful Bee is less valuable on this character, it still is 4 money per wave, because it's just 4 money that we're not losing. It's just not going to scale up the way harvesting normally will. And it's still a pretty efficient way to buy dodge when we effectively only lose half a melee damage for it. Here I'm going to go with more luck. I really want to start boosting that early. And then let's grab 9 max HP. Scales very well with what we're doing. We have no regen at all, so I'm a little leery of buying this weird ghost, but I think I'm going to do it and just try to dodge perfectly in this wave. This could end very badly, but we'll give it a shot. Grab this Jousting Lance again, and Cyberball is another good way to add some damage to this character. I'm not going to lock the Hedgehog, although I might consider buying it, but let's throw in one more reroll here, and I'll definitely pick up a Gentle Alien, and we can start upgrading our lances, which is great. So I'm hoping that we get some consumables that will give me some peace of mind, rather than just dying to a single hit. I need one more consumable, I think, to allow me to take a hit, so that's good. Now we can take a hit without dying, so feeling a lot safer. Weird Ghost is always risky, but it's a very efficient way to buy HP, so it's often worth getting in these early waves. Especially because you can just reset pretty quickly if you die and come back. I'm going to reroll this. I think we can do better than the level 1 melee damage. I do want to increase my melee damage, but I think we can hit something better than a level 1 upgrade. I'm going to roll again. Really unlucky here. I'll take 5% attack speed. I feel like I've gotten quite unlucky on my shop rolls and level up rolls so far, but the Loud is a powerful enough character that shouldn't matter. Notice that the speed scaling goes up, but the melee damage scaling does not. But also, importantly, the cooldown becomes better on Jousting Lance. It attacks more frequently as you level it up, and that is what scales Jousting Lance damage the most, thanks to its very high base damage, so that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to keep picking up Gentle Aliens, and then I will lock in this head injury. We don't need range particularly, and our percent damage is already fairly high, thanks to being the Loud, but could always be higher. We will need to start building some health regeneration pretty soon. I prefer that to lifesteal on this character, on this build, because we can't stand still, meaning that we need to be able to run away if we get into a bad situation and still regenerate. Though lifesteal does have some synergy just with the extra enemy spawns of the Loud. But with a weapon that attacks infrequently like the Jousting Lance, I think you're better off with health regeneration. Definitely taking a baby gecko. We already have a baby elephant, and that's a very strong synergy. 10 harvesting is a decent amount of money here, but I'm just going to take 6% speed. We can get really fast. And then here I will start building up some regeneration. We are going to lose that regeneration immediately, but luck is so good on this character, I'm definitely going to take that. And a lemonade is exactly what we need here, so very happy to see that. Take this gentle alien, and again, I'm not going to lock the hedgehog, although I would probably buy it if we had the money for it, but I'll reroll to see if there's anything we want to lock, and alien magic will be great here. We obviously want max HP and regeneration, so very happy to see that. We've built quite a lot of luck, which is nice, because it means that we'll start seeing higher level items in the shop, and because the Loud generates so much money, we should be able to afford those pretty easily. I'm trying to stay away from the eggs, because our damage is extremely high at this point in the game, so we should be able to kill these slashers no problem. And because we're a melee character, it doesn't decrease our DPS at all to have them on the field. They don't absorb hits like a ranged character would have that issue. As always, must maintain my movement at all times. Here, I think I'm just going to keep taking luck. I wouldn't mind max HP or regeneration here, but getting to 60 luck this early feels really good, and I'll take some more attack speed. Alien Eyes is going to be pretty good for us as well, I think, because we have high percentage damage and high HP, so I'm going to grab those. Keep rolling, upgrade Jousting Lances for sure, and roll once more. Weird Food and Leather Vest, both excellent here, and I think I will actually take the Bat as well. We can build some lifesteal in addition to the HP regeneration. I don't have a critical mass of regeneration yet, and I'd like to have a decent amount of healing when we go into our first elite waves, so I'm going to try building a mix of those on this character, I think. Normally I suggest going with one or the other, but Loud can get away with building some kind of like luxury stats, because you have more money than other characters. And the most important thing is just that you don't die on this character, because you won't have trouble with wave clear or anything like that, and you won't have trouble with economy, so you just want to make sure that you have all of your stats set up to allow you to survive. We will, of course, be bravely running away from these enemies, as one might. That's a good thumbnail idea, actually. Here I'll just take 4 HP regeneration because it's a level 3 upgrade. Lure, very happy to see that, so I will definitely grab it. I'm going to grab this leather vest. Do I still want the bat now that I have 10 regeneration? I think I'm actually going to pass on it. We wasted a shop slot by locking it, but I found 4 regeneration there, so I'm feeling like we can get away with just not doing that. And then definitely just going to upgrade my Jousting Lance going into Wave 9. Do I want Alien Tongue here? I think I might, but not badly enough to lock it, I don't think. Wave 9 is, of course, always great for every character, but especially this character, because the extra enemies are worth so much money. Let's go hit the loot aliens and make sure we're getting them. Ooh, 3 loot aliens. Very lucky. Jousting Lance, like Spear, wants you to make use of manual targeting sometimes, although because you are moving around so much, it's less important to manually target, I think. Just because it's less predictable where you are going to be and where the enemies are going to be relative to you, so it's harder to hit things with manual targeting than it is on the Spear build, where you're often like camping in a corner holding still. One reason I really like the alien eyes here is just that they're very good against bosses, which is what we're going to have the most trouble with. I'm okay just tanking damage. Very happy to pick up this black belt at this point, mostly because our melee damage being negative does hurt. When it's offered for free, I'll definitely take improved tools. We don't have any constructs, but it's just 10% attack speed, which is nice. I'll take the metal detector as well, and mouse will give us some extra lifesteal, which is great, so very happy to have that. I'll take 15 luck here, and then I think 15 attack speed as well. The more we can increase that, the safer we are, by far, so that's very good to have access to. Also, again, our level 3 Jousting Lance attacks faster and scales better with speed, so the higher level we get these, the more important it is to gain more speed. Buy this Clover as well. Our luck at 85 feels pretty good at this point. Very happy to find Stone Skin as well. That means that we can start prioritizing picking up armor. We already wanted to buy armor, and we have some just from the medieval weapon tag as well, so Stone Skin really helps with your economy in general. So we'll pick this up, get some max HP going. I think I will still take the spicy sauce. We will be dropping a lot of consumables, so the damage actually will matter, and more HP, of course, is always good. And I'll keep buying Gentle Aliens. Anytime that we increase our enemy percentage, we're feeling pretty good on this character. It's just always good. And here I'm going to buy this Goat Skull as well, because even though, like I said, melee damage is only 50% scaling, it's not super valuable for this character, it still is a good way to increase our damage because of the multipliers that we get from attack speed and percent damage. So even though it's a smaller number than for other characters, it's multiplied enough that it's worth picking up. Our defensive stats are now really coming together, so that's pretty good. We have like 20% dodge or something. I'd of course like to get that capped as soon as we can. But in order of priority, we want armor, because max HP is really important, and then health regeneration, and then dodge, I think. So we'll take max HP, but now that we have Stone Skin, we'd prefer to buy that just by picking up armor. I also would love more baby geckos, because we have enough baby elephants and cyber balls and things that we're leaving materials all over the map. I'm happy to just tank as much as, we get hit. Great, we found another baby gecko, that's great. And Cute Monkey is excellent for us. That will increase our healing by a lot. Here, I think I did say we wanted regeneration more than anything else, but I think I'm going to take attack speed just to make sure we're still clearing. And here I'll take 2 armor. That will increase our max HP and even more increase our effective HP. Grab the tree, of course, and the Dangerous Bunny will pay for itself pretty easily. Let us pick up this Jousting Lance. Definitely not taking Triangle of Power. You saw how many hits we were taking, but upgrading Jousting Lance is good. And I'm going to take Rip and Tear as well. This is one reason that we wanted to boost our melee damage, is because it's that's so powerful on this character. It's possible that I should have, in anticipation of finding that, bought the bonus explosion damage that I passed on a while ago, but I think that we're better off just only picking that up once we actually have the explosion effects. I'll take Silver Bullet. This is going to help the most against the elite here, I think, and then we'll upgrade our lance and lock these 2, of course. Go on into wave 11. Let's see if we can fight an elite. I immediately run straight into it. Gonna try breaking some of these eggs before they hatch. We don't need to prioritize breaking all of them, but it is nice to make sure that we're not having infinite of those on the field. Break this tree so we can heal up. That was so many slashes. Alright, where'd the guy go? There we go. It's tough because in his fast state he summons the tentacles, which are the most dangerous enemies because of, or the worst enemies to have on the field because of their high health and low rewards, and also they're hard to, you know, evade when they stack up in high numbers. So, and because we have to kind of do drive-by hits on this guy, come on, come on, there we go, got him right at the end. I fought that, I would say, quite badly, because I let him stay in his second stage. You really want to focus on getting him out of his second stage as soon as you can. Power generator is good, though. Of course, we're building lots of speed, so that will increase our damage significantly. And Bloody Hand couldn't be better. We already have some lifesteal. We're buying more. So this is really good. Here I'm going to take... I could just take regeneration to offset the Bloody Hand damage, and I think I will. Like I said, lifesteal is good for this character, but we want both, I think. And I actually don't want to get too fast, even though speed is now really good for us. I'll take 10 luck here. Start upgrading our weapons. Get to all level 3s, which is great. And now we can buy lifesteal pretty aggressively as well because we have Bloody Hand, so it's also worth damage. Let me take this Dangerous Bunny for sure, and I will grab a weird food, roll again. I actually don't want to lose dodge here to buy the acid, so because dodge is going to become pretty important to us. So I'm just going to roll past it and look for other things that could help us. Losing 3% speed when we have Power Generator and, of course, Jousting Lances is bad, so I think I'm going to pass on the Ugly Tooth at this point. Jousting Lance is definitely a difficult weapon to fight elites with because you have to constantly move, and that's one thing that makes many elites harder. It shouldn't have been as hard on that wave as I made it because I, like I said, left it in stage 2 for so long. Really let those tentacles build up. But of course with plus 80% enemy spawns, or plus 90%, I'm not... With as many enemy spawns as we're at, it can be difficult to avoid doing that. So I'm just happy we survived that run. Making 700 already, which is pretty nice. I'll take this turret. I guess we do have improved tools, so maybe it'll hit stuff, but also it can be, you know, if we find fairy, it's just an extra unique item. I'd rather have the potential for that than 11 materials, I think. I'll definitely upgrade Rip and Tears. Here, do I want to start building crit chance? I think I do, since it's level 4. If it wasn't, I probably wouldn't, but crit chance is another multiplier we can add to our pretty high base damage, so that's always good. And here I'm going to take dodge over these offensive stats, because I really want to get my dodge going as soon as we can. SD's Couch could not be a worse item for us, or anybody, but especially this character, so let's avoid that. I'm going to reroll both of those. Keep upgrading our Jousting Lances, though. At level 4, they now scale at 50% of our speed, which is really strong, of course, with 30% speed. That's basically the same as having 15 melee damage on a normal character, so the base scaling on these weapons becomes very, very high. And you can see that they level up really well, right? Because they gain attack speed and the scaling goes up so much, so the level 4 is worth 40 more damage, like almost plus 50% on, I guess, plus just shy of 40% more damage than the level 3. I'll keep taking luck for sure, and I'm definitely going to take explosion size now that we have 2 Rip and Tears. I'm going to buy the gambling token. It does reduce our armor, which of course we want to boost, but like I said, dodge is one of our best defensive options at this point. Do I want to lose 3% speed? I think not. Our speed is so valuable. So I'm just going to reroll that. Here I will take bait and cake and go to the next wave. Rip and Tear scales with explosion size better than just about any other stat, because it's going to have usually pretty high base damage. On this character particularly, we've built almost no melee damage, so it's not as damaging as it often is. But typically the thing that you want to make your rip and tear work better is just more explosion size, because the explosions by default are tiny, but very damaging. Once you get those chaining together, it's very powerful. Let's make sure we're clearing that loot alien. Rip and Tear is also less valuable for a Lance user than for a lot of other melee characters, just because we already have a ton of cleave on our weapons, or pierce. They're gonna, you know, hit most of the enemies all the time anyways, but it does help. Makes the damage also orthogonal to the direction of attack. Yeah, I'll take 6% speed here. That's gonna increase our damage output significantly. I will continue to buy consumable healing. I'll continue to buy dangerous bunnies. Let's reroll. Upgrade our jousting lances some more. Roll again. I'm going to pick up... Our percent damage is really high at this point, so I don't even know if I need to boost it through head injury. In fact, I think I'm going to roll past this whole shop and look for more things that increase our base damage, like speed, but in particular I want more armor. I'm gonna buy the alien eyes, though, for sure. And Cyclops Worm is so efficient, I'm still gonna buy it. I think it's like just slightly more material efficient than head injury, although I don't remember what the head injury cost exactly, so if somebody wants to check that and see if my math or my guess was right there, or if I just like declined to buy one thing and then bought something else of equal or lesser value. Now is your chance to correct me in the comments, which I know, as a YouTube viewer, you love to do. I would take projectile piercing or anything like that, too, because we have these alien eyes, so that could be quite helpful to us. We're really getting the explosions going, and that's pretty nice. As you can see, our healing isn't keeping up that well, but I have enough consumable healing that we're able to stay on top of it anyways. So even though we have like very good lifesteal and okay regeneration, we are mostly staying alive through our consumable healing. I'll take riposte here. We intend to build dodge, and we want to build some melee damage anyways. Here I'll take just 6% more speed rather than re-rolling. Buy more luck, of course, and roll again. We talked about Fairy already, but this is an excellent find for us. Even though I have a level 4 already, this basically doubles my health regeneration, which is incredibly valuable and will make us much more able to survive. Upgrade this Jousting Lance. There's a very good chance I've rolled past some Jousting Lances just out of habit. This coupon is still going to save us money for sure. I'm going to buy this duct tape. We spend 1 max HP total on it, but our armor is actually kind of low, so I would like to increase that as much as we can. Roll again, and adrenaline will be very good. Here I'm going to start with the coffee, because we're going into an elite wave, but I can afford both, so I'll just buy both. Alright, this is one of the harder elites for some melee characters, but should actually be easy for us because of our the very high range of our attacks. Normally, I suggest you you move in a circle while stopping, so you would do like this sort of triangle. But of course, we can't stop on this build, so the normal movement strategy against the crocodile doesn't work here. But we were able, thanks to our high movement speed, to just sort of play Ring Around the Rosie with it and always get behind it. And because the Jousting Lance has very high range, we were still able to consistently damage it. At this point, all of our secondary damage things, like the baby elephants and whatever, cyberballs, are really starting to chain together, because anytime one of those enemies dies, they do a rip and tear, we pull in some materials, it really combos together and spreads damage across the whole field. I'll keep taking weird foods. Do I want 10% attack speed here at the cost of 100? I think I will. Like, what I'm thinking is, if I saw this in the shop for 93, would I buy it? And I think the answer is probably, so I'm going to take the small magazine here. Ranged damage, range, yeah, we can't really use this, unfortunately. 10% damage doesn't do very much for us, and while we don't hate increasing our range, we certainly don't need to. And losing attack speed and crit chance would be bad, so let's do that. Here, I will take the Blood Leech. We don't really care about losing harvesting, and we want to increase our regeneration mostly. I'll take 9% crit chance. Now we should be critting a decent amount. Comparatively, though, I'm not going to buy small magazine for 156. I think that for 100 it was okay, but for this much it's less valuable. Increase my dodge, though, increase tree spawns, continue to upgrade our weapons, and upgrade our number of enemies. All of these level 4 lances really coming together for us. I'm going to buy this beanie for sure. I will actually buy Ugly Tooth now for a couple reasons. One, we just have more speed now, so losing it is less problematic. And two, it's a unique level 1 item, which increases our regeneration from the fairy, so that can be useful to have as well. And then I'm going to roll another option to take heavy bullets. Definitely not taking fertilizer here, because we're already quite late in the game, so it wouldn't even pay for itself. I took the helmet as well, because like I said, armor is really good for us. We want to boost our max HP. So even though that costs us a little speed, which costs us actually a fair bit of damage, because speed at this point is boosting both our base damage and our percent damage, so it's super efficient to buy speed. Every point of speed is really valuable on this character right now. I think that just not dying by having high armor is our number 1 priority. Our damage is so high at this point, I'm really not worried about wave clear. I'll want to boost it a little more before we fight the bosses. But primarily what I'm worried about is just not dying. So satisfying having all these enemies just popping all across the field while we just zip around super fast. Loud is such a fun character. Alright, I'm definitely not taking this. Definitely taking this. And yeah, I talked about this already. I will absolutely take Bandana. Just give our Alien Eyes some Pierce. I'll take Speed. Speed is way better than melee damage at this point, because they both scale 50%, right? So this would be increasing our base damage by 2. This increases it by 3. But also Speed increases our percent damage and gives us speed. So it's really powerful to do that. Here, I'm very happy to just take 4 armor. That will make our survivability significantly higher than it otherwise would be. So now we are in very good shape, I would say. With 12 armor and 87 HP, I could use a little more dodge, but overall, and our regeneration stats are really good. Overall, I don't think we're in any danger of dying. Gonna keep taking bait, mostly for fun here. We don't really need the percentage damage, but it's nice to grab it. Definitely taking more cyber balls. These have been a real component of our damage output. Plastic explosives, for sure. I think I'm actually going to pass on Ritual and Blood Leech. I would rather not spend this much on Lifesteal, of which we already have a ton, and I'd rather just roll for something that's more valuable for the character at the moment, such as, for example, another Jousting Lance. Tentacle is also very good. I think I'm going to lock the Tentacle and the little muscly dude here, but first I'm just going to upgrade our Jousting Lance to level 4. The other thing that upgraded Jousting Lances get you is even more speed, which, like we said, each point of speed is so valuable on this character. So they're one of the weapons that scales best with upgrading itself. Jousting Lance is a really fun weapon, because I don't think there's any character that it's actually best in slot for, but it's always like second or third best weapon choice on every character that it shows up on. And it leads to such a fun play pattern, too, that it's something to take frequently. We just one-shot that loot alien. See, unlike the version of this with the speedy, I just have high enough defensive stats that it doesn't matter that we're so fast that we can't really dodge easily. I can just run into anything, and that's fine. Definitely recycling statue, of course. I'll take bonus speed, though. Recycle barricade, and I will recycle fuel tank. Here, I'm going to reroll this. We don't really need 45 range. I will just take 3 armor here. More speed would also be good, of course, but like I talked about, armor, I think, is one of the most valuable things. Now I would prioritize dodge over it. But let's keep rolling. I'm going to take the metal plate for certain. I'm actually going to take both of these, again, because they're items they're level 1 items that we don't have. So even though the boosts from them are not amazing, they also come with 2 regen each, which is pretty useful. I'm going to probably not take bait here because we're going into an elite wave. No, I think we're fine. Let's just do that. The percent damage isn't super valuable, but it's still, I think, worth picking up here. I'll take more luck. I will pass on this black belt, I think, because the XP won't be valuable, and we don't really need more melee damage. Keep rolling. I think, yeah, I'll throw in one more reroll. They're getting pretty expensive at this point, but we are going into an elite wave, so I do want to kind of spend out my money and get as strong as we can. And I'll take another little muscly dude. Now we're at 100 HP, 17 armor, which is higher than we need. The only stat that we're really looking to increase is dodge at this point. Crit chance would also be very good to increase our damage output. Let me clear out the lampreys before I fight the elite at all, just to make sure there's less that we have to sort of focus on dodging. We're fast enough that I can really just run circles around these guys. Normally what you want to do with this elite is go to the end of its charge distance and kite it backwards along its direction of charge. But since we're this fast, it's easier just to run in a circle around any enemies. I should try to stay near the center of the arena where possible to maximize the damage output from my alien eyes, because if you're at the edge of the arena, then some of them are going to fire off into the wall. Not that they're a huge component of our damage, although they are pretty good against our against elites, so I should be keeping that in mind. I'm going to recycle this. The XP gain won't be valuable, and the lifesteal is also damage, thanks to Bloody Hand. There's probably a couple times I've passed on lifesteal when I should have bought it, because we had the Bloody Hand, so that was maybe some mistakes that I've made. I guess I'll take the Giant's Belt. I don't think this is going to matter, because our base damage is so high, but it's kind of fun to have it. Coupon, I think we'll make more than 34 off of it, even only in the last 2 shops. We can probably do better than this. I wouldn't mind dodge, but I bet we can get a level 3 at least. Yeah, I'll take a level 3 melee damage. That's still going to be a decent amount of damage output. Do I want a guard in here? We do have very high consumable healing. So, yeah, I think I'll take a guard in. Roll. Do I want to cap max HP? Not particularly. Roll again. Upgrade our Jousting Lance. That's awesome. Now we have all level 4s. Will bag pay for itself? It will, but it will also decrease my damage. I think it's very likely to get me 60 materials. Like, we'll probably get at least 4 crates in the next wave. So I think I will buy it. It's also another unique for our regeneration. Obviously, we are maxed on Jousting Lances, so we don't need any more of those. Ooh, Warrior Helmet. This is very good defensively, but does cost us a lot of speed. I think I will still take it. think the only thing that can get us at this point is just me walking into the bosses over and over again and dying, so any defensive stats I can pick up to make that less likely are strong. But Loud is going to generally reach these like insane late game states where it's very hard to lose. Once we got past the level 11 elite, that was sort of the big test for this build. Notice that we aren't actually one-shotting the armored chargers if they have a buff on them. Our damage is really high, but not that high, so those guys really do get a lot of health. Lose some armor, but we gain crit chance, and crit chance is a really good way to increase our damage at this point. Gonna recycle this. I am going to reroll this. We can definitely do better. I'd like to reroll this as well, actually. Come on. Alright, I'll take 3% speed. That's fine. I'm gonna take the Lemonade here and the Warrior Helmet. We'll also take Whetstone, because that also increases our percent damage. And roll again. Roll again. Definitely not taking the Torture here. I'll take Bat. And do I want Pocket Factory? I don't think so. We're just looking for stuff that I can pick up that helps with this next fight. I'll take the Claw Tree just for the 3% crit chance. And more luck is going to be good, actually. So I'll take that. Do I want Cake? Yeah, our percent damage is really high. And Cyclops Worm, sure. We're kind of buying anything that's even remotely helpful at this point. So even though percent damage isn't super valuable, we're just going into wave 20, so I'm just going to try to get anything that will help with that. And we sure do a lot of damage. Want to stack these enemies up so when we pop Alien Eyes, the projectiles all hit them. You want to, if you can time it so you're standing in the boss when your Alien Eyes goes off, then you hit them with all 12 projectiles, and that does an insane amount of damage, obviously. Alright, so that was a really fun one. I enjoyed that a lot. Got to showcase Jousting Lance, a weapon I haven't really shown on this channel yet, so that's kind of cool too. As always, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed that run. We are now on a 5-win streak, which feels much better, and what's that, 6 out of 7 is, oh no, 87-ish, so yeah, we're getting close to our 90%. Trying to do math in my head there. Alright, anyways, hope that you enjoyed this video, and as always, of course, if you did, please feel free to leave a comment and hit like. That helps a ton with the algorithm, and I appreciate it very much. And you can subscribe to my channel for more of this and other strategy game content. Cheers, my friends. I'll catch you next time.